What's up, everybody? It's Why We Love Horror TV, and we're watching a new show. I'm JWMaher, and that's Aaron Brooks. Aaron, what's going on?
Hey, I'm excited to be here once again. I brought a show to the attention of you that I feel is worth our time. Just kind of the way I judge if a show is worth our time or not, I watch about 20 minutes of the first episode, and then I'm like, oh, this is good. And then I usually message you. And I'm like, I think that we're on the right track here. The show we're talking about today is Hulu's series called Furious. Not The Furious, not the action movie that every Letterboxd film bro is putting in their top 5. This is Furious, and it's basically a show about now FBI agent, former NYPD police officer who had some trauma within the workplace with a coworker who was a former partner of hers, romantic partner of hers. I don't believe they were partners. And some domestic assault happened, and maybe other things were not really clear yet. But basically, Emmy Rossum's character, Alice, has to leave the police force because cops stick together, basically. And like
she was pushed out of the NYPD, but right to the FBI, which that's my only nitpick, but that's it.
Well, they're very separate, I guess. Like they're making that really clear. Like these, but I'm not sure.
It's like two different worlds. But like my only nitpick about this show, and it's a very minor nitpick, and it's a very John nitpick, if you know me, is like, given how she left the NYPD and like what the relationship has done to her, I don't see her passing a background check to get into the FBI. But that's me. But she is starting. She has like a shit job with the FBI at the start.
Exactly. She's working very low level, and I assume, maybe we'll get more information as it goes. We're only through 4 episodes, and we're not going to be spoiling anything in this first batch because I am seeing like the word of mouth start to spread. I do think people are going to catch on to this show. The cast is fantastic. Emmy Rossum at the top, though, putting on, I think, her best performance.
And Lola Pettigrew, who I have not seen Tuesday. I know you've seen Tuesday. Yeah. She's Tuesday from Tuesday. Yes. She's great. I buy her. We're not spoiling anything. She's established as the antagonist in the
femme fatale.
In the first 5 seconds. What I would say this show is like is if you liked Killing Eve but hate laughter and want all seriousness, this is Killing Eve without any comedy. 100%.
Yeah, I haven't seen Killing Eve. I've heard good things. Apparently, this is also based on a 1987 movie, Black Widow, which I've not heard of.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Deborah Winger, Teresa Russell. Yeah, like some very random, like neo-noir movie. Maybe I'll check it out at some point. But they've certainly modernized it. You're not going to kind of have trouble picking up on the real-life subject matters that they're basing this off of.
This show is insanely topical to the point that like Aaron made a comment before he came on, like, how did this get made? How did this not get shut down?
By the Disney-owned Fox Corporation. I'm a little bit shocked. And the show, one thing that I really like in my shows that deal with material, especially, is that they have trust in their audience. And here, they really do. I'll spoil slightly the first episode. Emmy Rossum's acting really weird from the beginning. And at first I'm like, okay, is she like Michael Monroe's character in Longlegs? Is she on the spectrum here? Is that what we're going with? Because her hair is all crazy. Like she's really acting strange. Like she's like listening to like, the calls the other agents are taking where they're like making fun of like my toaster is spying on me. And she's like, she's hearing the trauma of the individual and why they're calling, not the real reason they're calling. She's like empathetic to that because she's going through her own things with she is like can't even hear the sound of a shower. And at first we're just like, oh, is she crazy? And then they explain it much later. So they will give you information, you have to keep track of it, and then they will slowly kind of expound on it later. I think that goes to also some of the mysteries in the show, which will have its pros and cons as we go. I think some of it they're not as smart as they think they are. And so some of the reveals within the first 4 episodes that I've found haven't been as revelatory as I think they were meaning to be. But then there's been others that really have. And the whole cast is just great. Quincy Tyler Bernstein, who's in this picture with Emmy Rossum, she's just one of these actresses I want to see in everything. Like everything she's in, I'm always just like, I really like her. She's very, very authentic.
Yeah, like we're not spoiling anything. It might sound like we're spoiling stuff, but they do establish all this stuff very early. And like these characters, Quincy Tyler Bernstein plays Nora, who's the head of the New York FBI sex crimes unit, and she is like been in this unit for like decades, and she is the most jaded, like seen so much shit that she does not fucking care anymore. And she's dealing with like the worst crimes, like people trafficking children, people using children to create pornography, like all these. She's just like, it's a Thursday. It's
and I thought one of the interesting lines that she says, and it's again in the first episode, is she goes, survivors of sexual assault are often the most violent criminals. And like, you don't hear that too often, but that's like her jaded perspective. And then it kind of also turns the light back on to Alice as well. And, you know, I think I see as this show goes on, there's going to be almost a mutual understanding between Alice and what's the killer? What's her name? Lola's character's name?
Catherine Grace.
Catherine Grace. Yeah, I think there's going to be, and you know, we see so much with her. And I think for this show, it's really amazing too, because Scoot McNairy is kind of useless, and that's by design. I do like the gender swapping that's happening in this show. Really, I don't feel like other than Long Legs and Silence of the Lambs, like what other female FBI stories have there been like this?
Like all of the Alex Cross stories are, but
okay,
I think that's like BT, like Kiss the Girls and The Bone Collector.
Okay, yeah. So that's along those. Yeah, so this is definitely along these lines. But it's like again, like Stephen Chun is from Succession. He's in this show as one of Alice's partners, and he's a big old idiot. And he's always just like, "Oh, aren't you getting distracted with all the billionaires and like they're not like helping with the crime?" And that very much mirrors a lot of modern society and how they react to how sex crimes and criminals are, you know, looked at.
Yeah, there's a lot of dismissal of the victims in this, and like, we're not spoiling anything. It's all established within the first episode. Like, we are dealing with a secretive business of them catering teenage girls to rich men. And and Catherine Grace is a serial killer, I guess. I mean, she's definitely doing serial killer mythology, but she's taking out.
She's sexual assault survivor Jigsaw.
Yes, she definitely is sexual assault survivor Jigsaw.
It's like, unless at some point she gets it wrong and gets the wrong guy, like, which probably will happen, I'm sure. But like, you know, it's
I won't spoil anything, but there definitely is collateral damage. Like she's not only killing the bad guys.
No, exactly. Yeah. So that's where, you know, we again still can, I think, have people that end up rooting for Catherine through this show. They're like, I know she's wrong, but I get it. Why
they Walter White Breaking Bad her within the first couple episodes. I'll put it without spoiling it. Like, I mean, she's obviously the bad guy. She is killing bad guys, but how she goes about it is so sadistic that you're like,
she's obviously the bad guy, but I wouldn't say Jake Lacey and his grandma are good guys either.
Oh yeah, Patty Mayonnaise goes off. I'll tell you that much. Like that's like when I saw her, I was like, oh, it's Yoga Jones from Orange Is the New Black, also the voice of Patty Mayonnaise, Constance Schulman. And she, like when she showed up, I was very happy to see her until she started talking, and I was like, "This is a fucked up character."
Yeah, it's like,
oh my god,
it's just absolutely terrible. And overall, this show, it doesn't have a lot of humor in it. You know, it's pretty horrific, and I think part of the effectiveness of the horrific is a lot of the crimes are not shown, and I think that's a really good decision. The show is ran by a woman as well. And I'll get her name here in a minute, Elizabeth Merriweather. And I think that's vital for the show, for it to be written and directed by women. I think it's interesting because I don't know if you know, but she created New Girl. So
I didn't recognize the name. That's where I recognized it.
To go from New Girl to this is quite the range, Elizabeth Merriweather. I see you. So like it is, you know, but it's, at the same point, and maybe this might come across wrong, but I would like to get Abby on for one of the future episodes that we do covering this show, because I do think the female perspective is important to bring into this. But
I'm getting Fiorella to watch it too, so we'll see.
Obviously, as a male watching the show, like, this might sound wrong, but I didn't feel lost in translation with anything being explained here. I feel they really do a good job of putting you into perspective, and these issues that she's dealing with are universal. So it's really fucked up how everybody in this show is treating her, even Scoot McNairy, you know, like everybody is just treating Alice horribly. And it's just to see her kind of shift from like the soft moments with certain victims to like getting like really firm immediately afterwards, you know, her lack of hygiene, all of these things. I mean, it is quite
it's like if you liked Emmy Rossum in Shameless but thought Shameless was too funny, like, you're gonna love her in this. Like, it's that trajectory.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to cover before we kind of get to
this is just our, like, you need to be watching this show episode. Like, I'll give a rating for the first half of the season, definitely, but like, we want to just put this on your radar. We didn't spoil anything. There's tons of really cool scenes. Like, it's very well acted. It's actually shot in New York City. It's not, oh, we're in Vancouver, we're going to say we're in New York City. So I appreciate that they're actually in New York City, which is like, you don't see that nowadays either.
Yeah, no, definitely true. And the last thing I'll say is the music supervisor, phenomenal for this show, because that is the only place where there is a bit of a wink and a nod at times if you're paying attention to the music within the show.
I will say, whenever the antagonist is a big music lover, and her use of music is really good without spoiling it.
Absolutely. And she also looks like a spooky astronaut. So if you're a horror YouTube fan, the serial killer looks exactly like spooky astronaut.
Yes, she does.
So
all right, let me hit these ratings. I love me a good crime procedural, and now that I think about it, we were talking about how, like, there aren't a lot of female-led crime. I'd say the majority is male-led. I think that there's a lot of TV series where we get female-led crime units. Like, I would say, like, The Killing, both versions of The Killing, The Bridge, Mayor of Easttown, all, like, the first 8 seasons of The Blacklist. Like, we get a lot.
But now where they're all women, like, all the important, smart people in the show are almost all women.
That is good. This feels, even though it's not as novel as we're saying it is, it does feel fresh, because I don't think we've got it. Like, the thing that's so forward about this show is like how they are not shying away from the fact that, like, everybody is working against the success of these women.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and like, they're not even, like, it's not even subtle. It's just like these broads. Much,
it's not just female characters. It's also like a perspective, like, that is almost exclusively from the female perspective. And
but for the first half of the season, I'd say we're firing on all cylinders. I'm into these characters. I'm at like a 4.5 right now on Furious.
Yeah, no, I'm at 4.5 as well. You know, I'm curious to see how the second half of this show goes. Like I said, one of my fears is some of the things I think they're concealing aren't as concealed as they think they are. And so we'll see how they treat some of those reveals in the second half. I think that I cannot imagine this being binged. So I'm so glad that they did not drop it in a large batch. I think
it's heavy.
I think this more than carries its emotional weight week to week to get you to wait. So get on it with Hulu. This show is Apple TV quality, which, you know, from my reviews of Apple TV shows this year is very high praise. But Hulu getting into the action with a solid psychological horror procedural.
All right, that'll do it for Why We Love Horror TV. If you made this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. We'll be back in, I think, 3 weeks or 4 weeks to give our final thoughts on this. If any other TV shows pop up in the interim, we will be talking about it. Go to the Facebook group at Why We Love Horror. Check out the Letterboxd challenge here. You can watch what we're watching. Hey, but until next time, I'm JWMaher. That's Aaron Brooks. We'll see you on Why We Love Horror TV.